But I've noticed that through Geordie's urine, you don't see the bottom half, you only see the top half.
Yeah, he's got a whole team in there filming and shit. Right, these are questions my assistant Natasha has handpicked for us.
Hi Natasha, I don't know you, but I look forward to meeting you.
From YouTube and other places. Have you watched 60 Days In?
No, I haven't.
What do you think of it? I watched 60 Days In. It's filmed in a county jail in America, and they've sent some people in there undercover as pretend prisoners. Some of them can hang.
Oh yes,
yeah,
I've
you've seen it.
Yeah, I have
some
seen
of them
it.
can
Yeah.
hang, and some of them just like
Go
start
to
pissing the
pieces,
pants.
don't
Yeah,
they?
right away.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, there was a couple where there was a guy where he was just getting punked really, and like there was fucking there was sex playing him, and he just couldn't hang. I think he bailed out in the end. But there was another guy. I think he was in an ex-Ranger or an ex-something, and he ended up going in the cell and having a fucking straightener and breaking his fucking hand. So he really actually got into it. You know what I mean? It's good. I wouldn't really say it's. Well, they must know that there's something going on, because for them to film it, they must know there's cameras around. And when you just bring a new guy in the pod, how does it actually work?
What I like about 60 Days In, and this is a bit how it works as well, is they've got like hidden mics, hidden microphones. Yeah. They've got the cameras. The prisoners know there's a camera in the day room. So when the new guys come in and the prisoners go back to their cells, the people, the guards that are in on it, and the TV production company, they can hear what the prisoners are saying about the new arrivals. So if it gets too heavy,
the female ones are the best, because they actually they get into more like heart to heart stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they
like,
did.
The missing.
Yeah.
There's this girl, she kept on phoning a fella up, and like you could tell that she's gonna get a Dear John in the end. You know what I mean?
Dear John letter, yeah.
Yeah.
But that tough lesbian one that went on the cover, I think she was like a policewoman or something.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You thought she was going to do well, but she started to crack up, didn't she?
Well, I thought she was going to run the dome.
I thought as well, but she's totally started to crack up, and the others started to reject her. But that soldier guy, the one you're talking about, he went back to the cell where they were all doing shady stuff.
Yeah.
And they accepted him, and he fit right in, didn't he?
Fitted it right in.
But the other guy was like tapping out at the front of the room, wasn't he? He was like, "Get me out of here." Because it's funny when you hear them when what they're saying about them, like, "Oh yeah, we're going to bend that one over," you know, he looks like a snitch, something's not right with this guy.
And one of them get really paranoid as well, like, I think they're on to me, I think I'm going to have to leave. They're overthinking it really, you know what I mean? But it's a scary situation for them to go in.
It really is, it shows.
Because it doesn't matter if it's a show or not. It only takes 2 seconds to get your head panned fucking in. So, and they can't fucking help you.
It shows raw survival of the fittest in the county jails. Very transitory environments. Everyone's coming in and out constantly. Loads of new people. Constant unknown threats. And when you go in there, these cells were designed for one person. They've got like 3 or 4 people in a cell these days. It's way overcrowded. You know, most of these people have got drug problems. So they're getting the drugs smuggled in, crystal meth, they're not thinking so rationally. And when you're on meth, you get way paranoid.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was in we went to LA on business. And it's another story, but basically I got arrested. And Shaun and the rest of the people had to leave. It's when we were staying in the Pink Hotel.
You ended up in LA County Jail, which is notorious. LA County Jail.
I ended up in LA County Jail. I'd been sprayed.
Pepper sprayed.
I'd been fucking headbutting in the back of the police thing. They put me in LA County Jail. And like, there was just like loads of fucking people in there. And I wasn't sleeping anyway because I was fucking wired. I'd been smoking crack all day. And I'd fucking had loads of meth. And like, I was just fucking wired as fuck. But I'm just like sat in the corner, fucking making sure my back's to the fucking wall. You feel safe like that, your back's to the wall, because no one can get you from you fucking behind you. And that you have that mentality. You don't go in thinking, oh, I'll do anyone in. You just sit there, keep your gob fucking shut, and fucking make sure when the lad more bags come in, you get your share. That's it, you know what I mean? But I'm sat there, and then but it come night time, and it was like you'd hear people keeping around, and then you'd hear, get off the fucking bed, it's my bed now. And they'd throw them off the fucking bed, and people would be getting swatted just because they were on a fucking bed. And I'm sat there thinking, oh God, I can't wait to get out of here. And then I went court the next day, and while I'm sat to wait to go to court, they come back and said, oh, we're letting you out on bail, and you've got to repay it. Oh, fucking, that's great. I walk out of there and realise I've got no fucking money. So I ended up going to where did I go to? I went to the bus stop, I forgot, oh, what's it fucking called now? Greyhound. Went to the Greyhound bus stop, and I got talking. And luckily enough, I got talking to someone who's from Tucson. I was talking away, and like I said, look, if you sub me the money to get to Tucson, as soon as we get there, I'll give you the money back. And not Tucson, sorry, it was 10p, because they dropped me off, and I said, yeah, come with me. I said, listen, here's my address, and just send the money. I think it was like $89, $90. And I ended up going to, I forgot her name now, where...
Probably best you forgot her name though.
Yes, yeah, anyway. There's a few of them living there, and one of Shaun's girlfriends used to live there too. And I think Schooley got tied up there.
Was she a dancer?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you mean. So, yes, we 60 days in, I was very realistic.
See, I've got to stop mentioning names, you see. We've just talked about this, and like, I can't help it, because if I'm telling a story, the name's in my fucking head. But we can't mention names, because if I mention that name and they get sacked from the fucking job now, we're liable, because it was like 15 fucking years ago. So everything's got to be sort of like a different name, which is fucking with my head.
Right, alright, next question. Have you seen the movie Shot Caller?
Yeah, I've seen the movie Shot Caller.
So this guy's saying, did we see anyone like in Shot Caller come in, got a good job? In Shot Caller, guy worked in the stock market. He's celebrating with his wife and another couple, has one too many to drink, drive through a traffic light, hits someone, his best mate dies in the back. Next thing, he's getting sent down for that, and he sees someone get raped, and he's thinking that's like happened to me. Throws some punches on the yard the next day, shows that he's not going to be a punk. Erring brother recruit him, rises up in a gang. So this guy's asking, did we see anyone come in like that with a good family, good job, with a short prison sentence, and then get institutionalised, rise up the prison gang, and end serving life?
Probably seen a couple of people like that. One comes to mind was when we were in county, and it might have been Russian Mafia, but he was very intelligent. Was it Victor? Once again. Well, for fuck's sake, there's got to be called something like that in Russia.
Victor sounds good, like, yeah.
Yeah, but me and you had met him and we were talking.
Remember Jordan?
Jordan,
Yeah.
But he was like well tied, but he was a family man, wasn't he?
He was a family man. He settled down. It was years ago that he'd done his crime, and they snatched him out of Washington State. And I think they were trying to give him like 5 or 10 years. But he never, I don't think, he was sensible. He was going around calling the gang members out for doing dope. He was like the dope sucking the brains out the Yankees and all this stuff. He didn't actually end up clicking up and doing a life sentence. You know anyone that happened to?
No.
Alright, let me find the next questions from Natasha. Could you receive birthday, Christmas presents in prison? No, you can't get anything in prison.
No, you can't get anything in prison. The nearest you're going to get to a present in prison is when your family, your friends put money on your books. And certain prisons, I don't know if you've noticed this, Shaun, but certain prisons that they have like, they do like charity events where every now and again you can buy like
pizza.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it goes to, like, the money goes to charity or whatever it goes to.
Yeah.
And it's a treat, you know what I mean? But no, you can't, like, I mean, shit, when I was in Accrington, Northumberland, my mum come up and she had like a Walkman for me. Walkmans were, I'm talking like fucking 93 now. So it was top of the range Walkman. I had my own duvet, my own pillowcase.
Just in UK prison.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you allowed to have all that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your mum could bring you a Walkman.
Well, your mum could bring you a Walkman. You could have your own duvet, your own pillowcase.
Wow.
I'd have my own fucking key to my own cell.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was a fucking holiday camp. I went from Walton to there. And then from being in Walton for the notorious horrible food, not as bad as Arizona, but still pretty shit, to like fucking actually getting a menu of what you wanted and having either cheesecake or Black Forest fucking gatto. This is Atkinson, Northumberland prison. And there was no trouble there really. Well, there was, because anyone from up north was classed as a Scouser. And Scousers notoriously around England have a bad name for pad thieving, going in your pad and robbing shit. So you're automatically labelled as soon as you get there as a Scouser. And trying to explain to them, oh, you're from a small northern town called Widnes, they just don't fucking understand.
What is Christmas actually like in prison?
Well, you sort of, you make it the best you can. They give you a decent Christmas dinner, to be fair. And like, you've got your hooch on. If you've got, it depends, Christmas is how you want it to be, really. You know what I mean? If you just want it to be another day, it's another day. But if you want it to, you try and make the best of what you've got. You make the best of Christmas, you make the best of Thanksgiving, you make the best of Super Bowl, you make the best of Martin Luther fucking King Day, you make the best of all these holidays you get. Because it's a chance to fucking get a brew on, it's a chance to make a tamale, make a pot pie, make something to get your people together and just, you know.
Yeah, psychologically you try and boost yourself.
Yeah.
Christmas is the time when most prisoners actually commit suicide. A lot of them are missing the families, reflecting on the stupid shit they've done, put themselves in prison. You see a line for the telephone, you know, it's not easy to get on the telephone and get your minutes in and have your family pay a reverse charge call so you can speak to them on Christmas and stuff like that. And then the guards, some of them are real dicks on Christmas because a lot of the prisoners have got the hooch, they're drinking the hooch, they're getting wasted, and you get some guards just coming round, just shaking people's cells down, writing disciplinary tickets, catching people with hooch, confiscating the hooch, and it's like they're pissed off because they're in there on Christmas Day and they just want to transfer that over to the prisoners.
But you get other guards who are really, really fucking cool, and as long as you're not being a dick, just turn a blind eye to it. Not literally. I've had my cell tossed, and I was in a dorm in Florence, and I had it tossed. I had 2 bottles of hooch at the very back. I had me ramen noodles, me tuna fish, me nachos, and 2 little bottles of hooch at the very back. He went through all this, clearly seeing it, didn't do fuck all about it, but he did say to me, get rid of him.
Yeah, not all the staff are bad. There's good and bad in every profession. I was on one yard where we had this guard called a fruit Nazi. If you tried to take so much as an orange or an apple out of the chow hall after your meal, this guy was like patting everybody down, just trying to catch people with fruit so he could write them tickets and everything. And he just run hysterically from person to person, like everyone's trying to leave to get past him. He's like trying to push people back in and get them against the wall. And he was just absolutely ballistic with it. He was mental.
There are souls though, because not everyone who takes fruit from the canteen are actually making hooch. Or they might just want fucking an apple. They might not have no money for store, so they might want something for later on, you know, before they go to bed. The ones that are fucking making hooch, they've got a fucking sock and they've tied it to the boxer shorts, and you can get 5 oranges or 5 apples, and you get the skinny youngsters to do it, and you get them to wear baggy pants and fucking just walk on right through. I mean, if you're a big lad like me, you can't get through, fucking hell. Because you're trying to walk fucking through, and like looks like you got a fucking cock down here because you've got 5 oranges, you know what I mean? You're gonna get sussed.
This one was someone asking me actually. I said up to a third of prisoners on death row, some people have said that they estimate that are innocent, And where did I get that from? How can I back it up? That's actually from lawyers who've worked on death row cases. And the reason a lot of these guys can't prove their innocence is the states won't pay the $200, whatever it is, to give these guys DNA tests. Because if they are proven innocent, they would have to be released, and the state would have to pay them millions in compensation. The justice system in America is a business model. They'd rather send people to die than have their careers unravel and be proven that they put an innocent person on death row. It's really sick. And that's state-sanctioned killings. They are bigger psychos than the people that they've put away.
I do think the majority of them, though, if you end up on death row, you've done something. You haven't just fucked someone off. It's either a great fucking, like, you've either really, really fucked up, or someone's got it in for you. There's no smoke without fire, like. You don't just end up on death row over fucking...
Yeah, they typically will grab someone with criminal history, so that person then, when they go to court, they'll tell the jury this guy's done all this other stuff, and they'll nail them.
So do you think they actually profile them?
Yeah, they get a black guy with criminal history. It's a done deal then, especially with these racist juries.
What's wrong, that?
Yeah. What happens to people who are cruel to animals? Animal cruelty?
Well, unless it's on the charge, you wouldn't know, would you? I mean,
Well, if the gang members found out you'd like fucking been cat killing, there was a serial killer of cats when I arrived in Arizona. What would the gang do to that person?
I don't really think they'd be that fucking arsed about
Really?
animals. They should be. I mean, like, I personally don't really like cats. But the dogs, if I heard anyone hurt a dog, I'd beat the shit out of them. I think if I heard anyone hurt an animal, but it's not something you bring and top it with it. You wouldn't be eating your food in fucking prison. What are you in for? I'm in for this. What are you in for? I'm in for killing a dog. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
It's sort of... But yeah, they wouldn't get beat down like a child molester, let's put it that way. But someone would probably take offence and beat the shit out of them anyway.
Because everyone's looking for an excuse. Some young people want to prove themselves, get the tats. I said in my review of Brawl in Cell Block 99 that the Italian Mafia was running one of the areas I was housed, and if anyone ever fought fought the Mafia guys. Also, how many mobsters were there, considering this was Arizona, not the Northeast? Alright, this was in the county jail now. Towers Jail. There was a period of time in my building, my pod, and my tower, where there was a dispute between the Aryan Brotherhood guys and the Italian Mafia guys. And the Italian Mafia guys had more numbers, and they actually managed to oust the Aryan Brotherhood guys and take over that pod. And it was great because you could go to the Italian Mafia leader, and he was like moving people around. He would tell the guards what to do. Whenever we were shut down and they took all of our stuff, he'd have other guards go back and get all our stuff and bring it back. He'd get extra food. If you didn't like your cellmate, he'd tell the guards to move you to another cell. It was like the coolest time I'd ever seen in Towers Jail when the Italians were running it.
There was a really cool guard called Noah. And he let me come and see Shaun. I'd be in the next cell. That
was the Italian Mafia guys told him to do it, to bring you over, because we had what's called a do not house. Now, when I got arrested, the police did not want us being housed together and running conspiracies, because they thought we would have ended up running the jail and continuing to run the drug business. So when I asked the Italian Mafia guys to put Wildman in the same pod as me, and they tried to do it, but the guard came back and said, there's a do not house, because we were the original 13 heads of the conspiracy.
I was right next to him. I was at a window away from him anyway. You know what I mean?
So the guards would bring Wildman in, and Wildman would come in our pod. Now, people who were arrested in my second part of my case, in the second group of raids, the first group of raids had a do not house, but in the second group, some of those were newly arrested and they were slipping through. So I was able to have those guys actually move in as cellmates, like Joey Crack.
Yeah, I had Joey Crack on mine. I was with Andy Manning.
Yeah.
I was with a lot of... I was with... what's the mad bastard's name? I forgot his name now. He was dead healthy. He sort of like... He'd run on the table and fucking climb up and fucking...
There was the big guy, Zach.
Zach, yeah.
Yeah.
Little Ken as well.
Did I get threatened about my blog by the prison guards, etc. We didn't want anyone to find out I was writing it in the county jail. That was the main risk, because the guards were murdering mentally ill prisoners, blind prisoner got murdered and shit like that. That's why we kept it completely secret. Later on, the staff did find out that I was writing, but they were so far behind on it, they didn't know how to handle it. But since then, they've told all the prisoners they can't write to me. They've classified the blog as a threat to the security of the institution. And this is all an attempt to prevent me from continuing to put the stories online of people like T-Bone, these guys, and Frank, whose letters are still put out there. But if you tell prisoners they can't do something, they find a way around it, and they send the letters to someone else, and those letters are then forwarded on to me. What's the worst thing you've seen or heard a guard doing in prison?
I'm trying to think now. Well, I'd probably think the worst thing I've seen him do is just... I mean, some of them are really, really disrespectful. It's just like, you know, if you're getting your pad tossed and they come in and you got pictures of like your girlfriend or whatever, they're just getting them and like smashing them on the floor or ripping them up. Stuff like that where you really just feel like thumping him. But that one guard from Towers, he used to love catching the fucking mice and rats and like fucking feeding them Pepto-Bismol and shit like that. Alka-Seltzer they'd give him. And what happened, the rat would eat the Alka-Seltzer and it'd explode. Torres,
yeah. The guards were so corrupt in the Maricopa County Jail, some guards would have people fight and bet on who was going to win. I've got videos on my YouTube channel of guards murdering mentally ill prisoners. Marty Atencio was one guy, a mentally ill man, yelling at a woman. That was all he did in the car park. They brought him in. They went on him like a pack of wolves. So the most insane stuff I've seen guards do on camera is murder prisoners.
the most disgusting thing I've actually seen was it wasn't in my cell, but it was in the dorm I was in. I was in Towers too, and it was a simple fact that the guy had been bit by a spider and they'd laid eggs in his fucking head, and like he's fucking screaming in pain, and they come in and like told him to shut up, and he wouldn't shut up because he's in pain. There's actually fucking baby spiders in his head hatching, for God's sake, and they beat the shit out of him because they said he wasn't conforming.
Yeah, and they said also it's the policy of the jail not to treat insect bites. So anyone who got bitten by the brown recluse spider bite, which could literally, the venom
It'd leave holes in you.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's disgusting. I used to have to go up. I had high blood pressure, so I'd have to go every morning to the nurses and get my blood pressure checked and take the pills. And you'd see people in the they'd have like a little cell where you just sit down, you wait, and you let you out one at a time to see the nurse, or whatever they're doing. And you'd see people and they're like fucking, the most you'd see in there, they'd have people who've just come in and they've been tasered and they've got like fucking literally burn marks on them. And they are like big burn marks. Or Spiderbites. There's like fucking holes like that. No exaggeration, like fucking holes the size of a fucking dime.
It's called a volcano lesion.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
When they doubled my bail and moved me over to maximum security in my second year in the jail, I started a competition called Sufferer of the Week for the prisoners. So anyone who had money on the books would buy like an item of candy, like a Snickers or some peanut butter or something. So there'd be like a jackpot. So whoever had it the worst that week got awarded this jackpot of stuff. One guy who'd been bitten by the brown recluse spider goes to the guard, yellow pus coming out, it's all eaten into his flesh. Policy of the jail not to treat insect bites, tough, you put yourself in there, you deal with it. Next day, like the pus is like stopped, but it's still eating into his flesh, it's going like red and purple, goes to the guard, policy of the jail not to treat insect bites, you're not seeing a doctor. Next day, it starts to go like a darker colour, and this is going on and on and on and on, day after day, showing it to the guard every day. By the end of it, it goes black and blue, and fungus started to grow on it, and they took him to the hospital, and the doctor said right away we've got to cut his thumb off, or else this is going to go throughout his entire body. So when he got back with no thumb, he won the Sufferer of the Week, and he said it was all worth it just to get the Snickers.
It's bad, isn't it, really? You know what I mean? He got his peanut butter and Snickers, but he's thumbless and went through that fucking pain. Just for the ignorance of the fucking staff.
Yeah, so they do some pretty nasty shit to you. And this is on remand, when there's a presumption of innocence, and you're not even supposed to be getting treated like shit, like when, you know, after they found out you're guilty and all that. Right, last question from Natasha then, Lar, is, what would happen if someone got caught with a phone in prison?
Well, they're a lot more common than you think. They'd probably, I'd say 30 days, no street charging out. I'd say the very max 30 day, 30-day lockdown.
So basically, they don't want people running drug businesses out of the jail.
The whole for 30 days.
So it's really invaluable for the guys who do want to run the drug business to get these phones in through visitation. They stick them in. People bring them like, baby might have a nappy and the phone's in the nappy. Pass it under the table in visitation. Prisoner shoves them in his behind just to get through the strip search, and then he's back in his cell running his business. Or a corrupt guard might bring him in for the gangs.